Okay, here is one for John. It's a longer question, but I'm going to read it out and do my best. It's about a property in Perth. Now, if you are listening to this episode the day it drops on 13th of May, so Tuesday the 13th of May, or Wednesday the 14th, or Thursday the 15th, there are chances, potentially, that our live recording in Perth on the 15th, there could be some tickets left. Maybe not. We'll put the link in the show note anyway.
We could be live right now.
John's doing a property night the night before on Wednesday the 14th. We'll put a link in the comments for that. But anyway, it just reminded me because this is a story about a property in Perth. Okay. Would love some clarity / advice on a decision, please. My partner owns a 2x2 investment property in Perth. Is that 2-bed, 2-bath?
Yeah, it's interesting in WA. They call it a 3-bed, 2-bath will be a 3x2.
Okay.
That's just what they call it.
Am I safe to assume there's no car spot? Or it could be a house?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think,
whatever.
Let's say it's abbreviated.
The property has been valued mid 500K, originally paid $445 brand new, and there's still about $235 owing on the loan. Due to this property being brought prior to our relationship, it's solely in my partner's name. The property has supported us in buying our first PPOR with equity and getting a split loan to buy a car. Gosh, don't take that as anything. We just don't love using equity out of investment properties to buy PPORs. Anyway, that's why we're keeping this anonymous. We have discussed our goals and things we would like to do prior to having children in the coming years, and are thinking that selling this investment property could really push us along faster. Okay, sell it then. Next question. We want to renovate our PPOR, travel more, pay for a wedding, and set up more before having kids. Very ambitious. I love it. Our main objective is to be more financially stable prior to going down to one income when I eventually go on mat leave. Reasons for selling: 1, loan is solely in my partner's name. 2, investment property has big strata repayment and rental income doesn't always outweigh monthly cost. Yeah, but I think we've got to look at after-tax wash-up of stuff like this. Anyway, 3, would free up money we currently allocate towards saving and loan repayments. 4, allows us to renovate, travel and pay for the wedding. 5, we would prefer to eventually reinvest in property again in both our names and not within Strata. We were thinking of doing a clarity call with John Pidgeon, but not sure if this type of situation is what he services. Would love to know your thoughts, opinions, and our situation, if you have any. I've left out our important if I've left out any important info, let me know. So number 1, I think I basically said, yeah, have an hour with John on the phone and thrash it out. But
Next question.
yeah, but it's honestly, it's sell and move on, isn't it? Surely. Talk to me, Johnny.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of reasons for selling. I agree. I don't like the getting equity out to buy our PPOR and grab a car, etc. But look, it is what it is, and I think if we're coming into the years where we need cash in our life because we're going to start a family. We've got a wedding. We've got some things that we need to stay cash heavy for. So that's a big argument in selling a property. And I call it phase 2 of our investment journey. Is phase 1 might have been we both came to the party with a property, we bought our own home, and now we maybe sold down on the original 2 to get our home or have our mortgage lowered to then start phase 2 once we've got our PPR. And this is maybe what we're thinking here is we can get back into property, but let's maybe just get our debts in alignment first. And what that means is we're paying down some of that bad debt first because we've used equity. We've basically borrowed 103, 104% of the purchase price. If we sold this property, we'd take about maybe 250 off the table based on our debt and potential value there. Not sure if it was an owner-occupier to begin with, so there may be some CGT concessions early on there that we could capture, so that may be a bonus as well. I would love to know the makeup of the property and how long we've had it. I mean, we say it's a 2x2, but how many's in the complex? We know there's strata, so we just look at the location itself and then make an assessment from there. But a lot of things are leaning towards selling from what we can see here.
I think it's okay to sell property. Like, it's all circumstantial, but I think when you have big flashpoints like this, when you've clearly got a plan, like this person hasn't written in and been like, we have an investment property, it's in my partner's name, should we sell it just to buy property in joint names? It's like, well, chill out, Turbo, for 10 minutes. But there's a lot going on. You know, how much equity in total? So if they walked away, we'll call it 550, we'll call it round numbers, 250 owing. There's 250.
As I said about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, sorry, I was texting.
But you look at it, and I spoke to someone about this in a clarity call
actually,
yesterday.
my question would be, does that 235 include the borrowed money for the house?
Yeah, for our deposit plus the car loan. Yeah, that's right. But either way, we're paying down some debt, aren't we?
Yeah.
Whichever way you look at it. But I think as I said, I spoke to someone yesterday in Perth. Perth have had unprecedented 3-year growth, which hasn't ended quite yet, but it might not be far from it. So are we going to experience this again in the next 5 years? There's a good chance no. So based on that, would we have seen a 100K uplift? And again, I don't know the timeframes of holding it, but would we have seen that in a normal market? By the sounds of it, probably not. So it might be a good time to sell an asset that isn't a superior one.
Yeah, you make a good point, because I originally paid $445 brand new, and it's now only valued at $50K more. They've obviously
500. Sorry, mid-fives. Yeah, mid-fives.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I just saw the 500K.
They may have had it 2 years, 3 years, or 10 years. I don't know.
But the thing is, if they had it 10 years, that equity, I think what you're getting at, could have happened just in the last year.
That's right. And it probably has. So them getting equity out to buy that property, their PPR, might have actually served them well because of the growth of that asset. And that's probably what they were thinking at the time, the whole adage of never sell.
Well, but my question is, if you step back as well, if you sold all this, if you can clear that split from the PPOR's probably had a good run anyway.
And it would have, yeah. So that might have been their alternative and this is the thing with individuals, like when they come together, everyone comes from a different mindset, a different place, a different, like we might be coming together saying, oh, I don't want to sell mine, you sell yours, sort of thing. And like there's all these loggerheads who are like, well, let's not sell any of them. Let's just all get it together and we'll borrow debt and go get on with it. But yeah, now we're sitting at a stage where, hang on, we want to have kids, we want to have a wedding. We've got this car that's got a debt on it, which is not ideal. We want to renovate, we want to travel. Like all of this says cash. So where's it coming from if we're not saving it? The only option is to sell.